Chapter 711. Qi Yu was dumbfounded. She did not expect that Lu Ming would suddenly summon a large cauldron and kill 6 experts of the Shadow Snake tribe with one strike. Moreover, Elder Kuei and In Kei were heavily injured. She felt like she was in a dream. Huff! Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief and collapsed to the ground. Now, there was not a trace of true origin left in his body. Even his face was very pale, which was caused by his lifespan being sucked away. Lu Ming, are you all right? Xian Yanqing exclaimed softly and walked over to support Lu Ming. Her eyes were filled with worry. Xian Yanqing's body was strong and her life force was extremely vigorous. Now, the wound on her chest was slowly healing and was no longer a problem. Little Qing, help me over there. I want to kill them. Lu Ming said. Xian Yanqing nodded and helped Lu Ming forward. At this moment, Elder Kuei and In Kei were lying on the ground like mud. They were already half dead. In such a situation, they naturally could not control the puppets. The giant snake puppets were all lying on the ground like statues, motionless. Kid, what are you trying to do? Let me tell you, I'm the young master of the Shadow Snake tribe. My father is the tribe leader of the Shadow Snake tribe. If you dare to kill me, you'll definitely die. In Kei shouted. I said, you'll definitely die today, no matter who you are. You can't change the result. Lu Ming slowly walked forward with Xian Yanqing's help. Above his head, the green mind fire spread out. His body was weak and he could not use true origin. However, he could still use the mind fire. Kid, I advise you to let us go. Just now, I've already sent a message back. If you kill us, you'll have to wait for the Shadow Snake tribe's crazy revenge. At this moment, Elder Kuei sneered and struggled to move his body. A voice transmission jade talisman appeared in his hand. Huh, Elder Kuei, well done. In Kei roared with laughter, then he looked at Lu Ming and shouted, Brat, my father has already received the news. You're dead for sure. Now, if you cripple your own arms and legs and give that bitch to me obediently and serve me, I might spare your lives. Little Qing, I can't move right now. I can't even inscribe inscriptions. I'll leave these 2 to you. Lu Ming spoke to Xian Yanqing as if he hadn't heard Elder Kuei and In Kei's words. All right. Xian Yanqing helped Lu Ming sit down. Holding the dagger in his hand, he walked towards Elder Kuei first. Bitch, what are you trying to do? In Kei roared. You dare? Elder Kuei roared. Xian Yanqing remained unmoved and strode forward. Qi Yu came to Lu Ming's side, wanting to say something but hesitated. Puchi. Xian Yanqing arrived in front of Elder Kuei and swung his dagger. Elder Kuei's head flew far away. Then, he walked towards In Quebec. No, don't come over. In Kei was terrified, and his face was filled with fear. He didn't expect that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing would still dare to kill them after knowing that they had been sent back to the Shadow Snake tribe. Where did they get the courage to do so? One had to know that the Shadow Snake tribe was the strongest tribe in the surrounding area. You should have expected this day. Xian Yanqing's eyes were filled with killing intent. His dagger flashed and In Kei's head fell to the ground. The Shadow Snake tribe was all dead. Lu Ming, we have to leave this place quickly. The experts of the Shadow Snake tribe will be here soon. Qi Yu said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Qi Yu put away the intact giant snake puppets, then controlled the cheetah puppet to carry Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing towards the red leopard tribe. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the cheetah puppet's back and continuously circulated the true dragon battle arts to recover his true origin. The side effects of using the thunder cauldron were too obvious. He lost all his true origin and felt weak all over. Even if he still had his mental strength, he couldn't even inscribe inscriptions, which was equivalent to being powerless and at the mercy of others. Moreover, after using the thunder cauldron this time, he had a rough understanding of its power. The stronger his cultivation, the stronger the power of the thunder cauldron after absorbing true origin and essence qi. With his current cultivation, using the Thunder Cauldron should be able to cause a fatal threat to an expert in the fourth layer of the spiritual ocean tier. But he might not be able to kill them. Just now, in the Een Snake tribe, there were 2 inscriptionists equivalent to the fourth layer of the spiritual ocean tier. The reason why he was able to kill them in one blow was because those inscriptionists used their mental strength to control the puppets, and the puppets were entangled by Dandan's array and couldn't turn back to help. They could only rely on inscription talismans to resist, and their defensive power was naturally greatly reduced, which was why they were killed by Lu Ming in one blow. Under normal circumstances, he could at most heavily injure an expert in the fourth layer of the spiritual ocean tier, but couldn't kill them. As for the fifth layer of the spiritual ocean tier, he could probably only lightly injure them. Of course, if Lu Ming could step into the spiritual ocean tier, his thunder concept and true origin would increase explosively, and the power of controlling the Thunder Cauldron would also increase crazily. I'm so tired. I accumulated so much energy, and it's all used up in one go. Kid, this time, you have to compensate me well. Dandan laid on Lu Ming's shoulder and kept rolling his eyes. In the 10,000 Snake Valley, just a few hours after they left, a gust of wind blew, and a dozen experts rode on giant snake puppets and arrived here. The person in the lead was a middle-aged skinny man with a poisonous snake coiled around his neck. After they arrived, they quickly rushed into the depths of the 10,000 Snake Valley. Soon, an earth-shattering roar was heard. Kid from the outside world, Red Leopard Tribe, kill, kill, kill. The voice rolled, containing endless killing intent. Even many of the poisonous snakes in the 10,000 Snake Valley trembled and shrank back into their caves. Lu Ming and the others returned to the Red Leopard Tribe, and Lu Ming used all his strength to recover his cultivation. At this time, Lu Ming had already recovered a trace of true origin in his dantian. Then, he took out a large amount of supreme-grade spirit crystals and devoured the energy in them to recover his cultivation. With a trace of true origin, Lu Ming's recovery speed greatly increased. As soon as Qi Yu returned to the Red Leopard Tribe, he went to find Qi Jinkong to report the situation. What? Lu Ming killed Een K? In a hall, Qi Jinkong's shocked voice was heard. Yes, father. What should we do now? Qi Yu stood in front of Qi Jinkong and asked. Qi Jinkong's face was solemn, and his brows were tightly knitted together. He said, Een Buhai only has one son, and he has always doted on him. Now that Een K has been killed, I'm afraid he'll go crazy and seek revenge. Pass down the order to strengthen the defenses. Also, I'll inform the elders to come here for a meeting. The atmosphere in the Red Leopard Tribe was tense, and Lu Ming was still trying his best to recover. Half a day after returning to the Red Leopard Tribe, his true origin had finally recovered to its peak. Shao Qing, let me undo the seal on your hands and feet. Walking out of the room, Lu Ming saw Xian Yanqing. Now, Xian Yanqing's injuries were much better, and he was almost fully recovered. Dummy, are you alright? Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming with concern. I'm fine. Lu Ming walked over and held Xian Yanqing's small hand in front of his eyes, and observed the seal ring on her wrist. Chapter 7:12. After a while, Lu Ming's finger moved in the air. Lines of inscriptions appeared and then disappeared into the ring on Xian Yanqing's hand. Beautiful inscriptions appeared on the surface of the ring, and 2 poisonous snakes rushed out. The poisonous snakes collapsed in the air. Lu Ming held the ring and shook it with his true yuan. The ring broke into pieces. Then, Lu Ming did the same thing and untied all the other rings on Xian Yanqing's body. Boom! As soon as the rings were untied, Xian Yanqing's body emitted a strong aura. Then, it slowly disappeared. Idiot, you saved my life this time, so I take back my previous promise. Xian Yanqing said. What promise? Lu Ming was surprised. Of course, the promise to trample you under my feet, idiot. Xian Yanqing blinked her big eyes and rolled her eyes at Lu Ming. Her face revealed a smile. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and touched his nose. He was speechless. Then, his eyes flashed. He stretched out his arm and held Xian Yanqing's slender waist. He said, "You saved my life. Shouldn't I repay you with my body? Why don't you repay me now?" Feeling the heat from Lu Ming's arm, Xian Yanqing's face reddened. Her true qi burst out and she broke free. She said, "Repay me with my body? You wish." Seeing that Lu Ming was depressed, Xian Yanqing smiled and said, "However, it's not impossible. It depends on your performance in the future." "Really?" Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "Not really." Xian Yanqing smiled and then asked about Lu Ming's experience in the past few days. They chatted with each other. In the Red Leopard tribe's meeting hall, the atmosphere was extremely depressing. "Tribe leader, there's a report from the front. The Een Snake tribe has sent out an army and is rushing towards us." Someone reported. "Pass down the order. Don't resist at the front line. Pull back all the troops and retreat to the ancient city," Qi Jin Kong ordered. He then turned to the elders and said, "Elders, follow me to the city gate to welcome Yin Buhai." Afterwards, Qi Jin Kong and the elders of the Red Leopard tribe arrived at the western city gate of the ancient city. At this moment, there was already an army stationed around the city gate. About a few hours later, the wind howled, and a faint sound rang out between heaven and earth. Countless giant snake puppets appeared in the sky and on the ground. Each of the giant snake puppets had 1 to 2 people sitting on them. At a glance, there were at least tens of thousands of giant snake puppets, densely packed and filling the entire sky. On the Red Leopard tribe's side, dazzling inscriptions appeared on the city walls. Various powerful defensive formations and offensive formations appeared. At the same time, the warriors of the Red Leopard tribe knocked their arrows. The runes on the arrows shone brightly. A great battle was about to break out. The tribe leader of the Een Snake tribe, Yin Buhai, walked out and stood in the void. A poisonous snake coiled around his neck and flicked its tongue. Yin Buhai's eyes emitted cold, killing intent. He looked at Qi Jin Kong and said, "Qi Jin Kong, your daughter Qi Yu and 2 outsiders are despicable and shameless. They sneaked into the territory of the Een Snake tribe and ambushed and killed my son in Quebec. Now, hand them over and I'll retreat and let the Red Leopard tribe go." "Ha, Yin Buhai, you're really good at talking nonsense. I heard that your son wanted to defile someone's girlfriend and was killed in anger. He was killed in a frontal attack. How can you say that it was a sneak attack?" Qi Jin Kong laughed. "Humph, what defile? That bitch should be honored that my son likes her. Their lives are nothing compared to my son's." "How can you compare to my son?" "Qi Jin Kong, I advise you to look at the situation clearly. Don't bring about the destruction of your Red Leopard tribe." Yin Buhai said coldly. "That's impossible," Qi Jin Kong answered without hesitation. Yin Buhai frowned, and his face turned gloomy. His eyes flickered, and he said, "How about this, Qi Jin Kong? I know you can't bear to part with your daughter. I don't want you to hand over Qi Yu. As long as you hand over the 2 people from the outside world, I will retreat." "Impossible," Qi Jin Kong answered with the same words. Yin Buhai's face darkened completely. He said, "Qi Jin Kong, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I'll give you 3 days to discuss this. After 3 days, if you don't hand over the 2 outsiders, I'll lead the army to flatten the Red Leopard tribe. I'll wipe out the Red Leopard tribe forever." After saying that, Yin Buhai waved his hand and left with his men. Soon, the army of the Een Snake tribe retreated. Yin Buhai was not afraid of the Red Leopard tribe. He had mobilized the army in a hurry and they were not strong enough. If he attacked the Red Leopard tribe rashly, both sides would suffer great losses. He also needed time to gather more power. After the Een Snake tribe retreated, Qi Jin Kong heaved a sigh of relief. "Pass down my order. Gather all the forces of the Red Leopard tribe and guard the ancient city. Elders, follow me to the meeting hall," Qi Jin Kong ordered. After a while, the meeting hall of the Red Leopard tribe was filled with more than 20 people. Not only were the elders of the Red Leopard tribe there, but many ordinary elders were also there. Tribe leader, I think we should just hand over the two young men. Why do we have to start a war with the Snake tribe for two outsiders? Yes, tribe leader. Those two young men overestimated themselves and dared to kill Quebec. They were digging their own graves. We can't implicate the Red Leopard tribe for two outsiders. Some ordinary elders persuaded Qi Jinkong to hand over Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. No. Qi Jinkong's voice was heard. No? Tribe leader, why not? Some of the elders asked in confusion. At this point, I won't hide it from you. Lu Ming was able to crack the array that sealed the previous clan leader. Now, he has already cracked 100 array formations. There are only 36 array formations left. He will be able to crack all of them in a few days. By then, we will be able to find the inscription's secret manual of our tribe and return our Red Leopard tribe to its peak. Qi Jinkong said. His voice swept across the place like a storm. What? Is that true? Many of the elders were astounded, before falling silent. They finally knew why Qi Jinkong wanted to protect Lu Ming. It was related to the rise and fall of the Red Leopard tribe. Tribe leader, I don't think so. A voice was heard. It was Qi Jinkong. He had been summoned back for a meeting after such a serious incident. Qi Jinkong walked out and said loudly, there are only 36 formations left. We don't know if Lu Ming can crack them. Besides, even if he does, we will get the secret book of inscription. So what? The Snake tribe will destroy our tribe before we can rise. I think we should hand over Lu Ming and that woman to stabilize the Snake tribe. That way, we can at least prevent our tribe from being destroyed. Qi Jinkong's words made many elders ponder. Indeed, Qi Jinkong's words were reasonable. What was the point of getting the secret book of inscription if the tribe was destroyed? Chapter 7:13. Seeing everyone's expression, Qi Jinshan had a smug look on his face as he continued, moreover, there are only 36 sealing arrays left. As long as we hand over Lu Ming and that lady, we can stabilize the Snake tribe and slowly think of ways to crack the last 36 arrays. This is the best plan. That's right, Elder Qi Jinshan is right. An elder spoke, supporting Qi Jinshan's words. Qi Jinshan's eyes flashed with excitement. I object. Our tribe is indebted to Lu Ming. If we treat someone who is indebted to us in this way, how will others view our tribe in the future? Moreover, the most important thing now is the awakening of the ancient ancestor. As long as we stop the attack of the Shadow Snake tribe, we will enter a period of truce. If Lu Ming can awaken the ancient ancestor will definitely value our tribe. That's the foundation of our rise. Qi Yu's second uncle, Qi Jintian, said. That's right, I agree with second brother. Qi Jinkong said. Second brother, patriarch, you think too highly of Lu Ming. This time, there are many outsiders. How do you know that Lu Ming is the destined one? We can't bet the fate of our tribe on such a small possibility. Now, we have to deal with the Shadow Snake tribe. Protecting our tribe is the key. Qi Jinshan said loudly. Many people nodded their heads. What if I can destroy the Shadow Snake tribe? Suddenly, a voice came from outside the main hall, causing everyone's heart to tremble. Everyone's gaze involuntarily turned towards the outside of the main hall. 3 youthful figures walked in. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, and Qi Yu. The words just now were spoken by Lu Ming. This is our tribe's meeting hall. How can you bring 2 outsiders in? Qi Jinshan scolded. Don't worry. Lu Ming is our benefactor. You can come in to discuss. Qi Jinkong waved his hand, causing Qi Jinshan's face to darken. Qi Jinshan looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, what did you just say? Can you destroy the Shadow Snake tribe? Not bad. Lu Ming nodded. Ha ha ha. What shameless boasting. You're just a heaven-rank inscription master. To be able to exterminate the Shadow Snake tribe, brat, do you know how strong the Shadow Snake tribe is? What a joke! Qi Jinshan laughed loudly, revealing a mocking expression. Hee, I remember you also said that I was boasting shamelessly. How could a mere Tian realm break the seal? How did I break it in the end? Lu Ming replied indifferently. Qi Jinshan's face turned red. Back then, he had indeed said such words. But reality proved that his words were nothing but nonsense. Humph, this matter and the matter of breaking the seal are two completely different matters. The Shadow Snake tribe is incomparably powerful, and reigns supreme over 10 tribes in the surrounding area. How could it be destroyed so easily? Qi Jinshan scolded coldly. Of course I have my ways. Lu Ming said. If you have an idea, why don't you share it with us so that we can see if your idea will work? Qi Jinshan said. I can't tell you now. Even if I do, I'll only tell the patriarch. Lu Ming said. You're just trying to stall for time. Why would you say such nonsense? Qi Jinshan snapped. Because I don't trust you. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. What? Kid, what do you mean by that? How dare you slander me? I'll kill you right now. Qi Jinshan roared furiously. That's enough, sixth brother, back off. I trust Lu Ming. At that instant, Qi Jinshan spoke with an unquestionable tone. I trust Lu Ming too. Me too. Qi Jintian and the other elders spoke one after another. Qi Jinshan and a few elders with great authority spoke, causing the others to fall silent. Thank you for your trust. Patriarch, can you ask the others to back off? Senior Qi Jinshan and the elders can stay. I have a plan to eliminate the Shadow Snake tribe. Lu Ming said. All right, all of you back off. Qi Jinshan waved his hand, leaving no room for doubt. Qi Jinshan's face turned ghastly pale. He gritted his teeth and backed off. Soon, only Qi Jinshan, and a few elders were left in the hall. Of course, Qi Yu and Xian Yanqing were also there. Lu Ming, do you have a plan to eliminate the Shadow Snake tribe? Qi Jinshan's eyes flashed with hope. He would be satisfied as long as he could stop the attack of the Shadow Snake tribe, let alone eliminate them. Patriarch, if the Shadow Snake tribe attacks the Red Leopard tribe, should they attack from the sky or from the ground? Lu Ming did not answer the question. Of course from the ground. If they attack from the sky, they will be covered by our arrows. They can't inscribe formations in the sky to resist the arrows. If they use inscription talismans, they won't be able to afford it. If they attack from the ground, they can cooperate with each other. One person can control the puppets and the other can inscribe formations to resist our arrows. At the same time, they can shoot arrows to fight back. Qi Jinshan explained. Lu Ming smiled and said, that's good. If I have a way to cut off the connection between the people of the Shadow Snake tribe and the puppets, are you sure you can defeat the Shadow Snake tribe? What? Cut off the connection between the people of the Shadow Snake tribe and the puppets? Qi Jinshan's eyes were blazing with fire. The others were almost the same. If we can do that, we can lead the puppet army and annihilate the Shadow Snake tribe. Qi Jinshan's eyes were extremely bright. He stared at Lu Ming. If they could really annihilate the Shadow Snake tribe, the prestige of the Red Leopard tribe would definitely soar and their strength would improve rapidly. That's good. I know a formation. As long as it is set up, the puppets controlled by the enemy can enter the formation and cut off the connection between the people and the puppets. As long as the formation is set up outside the ancient city, the Shadow Snake tribe will die if they attack. Lu Ming smiled confidently. There is such a wonderful formation. Qi Jinshan was shocked. He then frowned and said, if that's the case, won't the people of my tribe be cut off from the puppets when they rush in? Don't worry. I have a little trick to control the puppets. After using it, you can avoid being cut off from the puppets by the formation. It's very easy to learn. You can learn it in a few hours. Lu Ming took out a jade badge and gave it to Qi Jinshan. He said, Patriarch, you can teach this little trick to some of your trusted subordinates. But don't tell them what it's used for. It will be troublesome if it's spread. Good, ha. Qi Jinshan took it and laughed excitedly. The others were also very excited. There's no time to lose. I'll go and carve the formation now. But Patriarch, you'd better keep an eye on the elder of Qi Jinshan. Lu Ming seemed to be implying something. Qi Jinshan's eyes flickered. He said thoughtfully, Don't worry. I know what to do. Chapter 7:14. Of course, Dandan had told him about the formation. It was indeed mysterious and was an ancient formation that had been extinct for a long time. However, the formation had a shortcoming. It was too complicated to inscribe and would take a long time. It could not be activated instantly and was only useful against puppets. Hence, it had slowly disappeared in the long river of history. However, it was suitable for the current situation. Lu Ming walked out of the west gate and started to inscribe the formation. Lines of complicated inscriptions sank into the ground and disappeared. Time passed slowly. The Red Leopard tribe began to call back their forces to guard their headquarters. The Shadow Snake tribe also began to gather their forces to prepare for the war. The surrounding tribes were waiting and watching. Even if the Shadow Snake tribe could destroy the Red Leopard tribe, they would definitely suffer losses. The other tribes would sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Soon, 3 days had passed. On the third day, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qiu, Qi Jinkong and the others stood on the city wall. There were people everywhere on the city wall. In the sky above the ancient city, many people summoned puppets and sat on the backs of the puppets, floating in the sky. They're here. Qi Jinkong suddenly shouted. In the sky, 3 gigantic snake puppets flew towards them. They were Yin Buhai and the 2 elders of the Yin snake tribe. Even more members of the Shadow Snake tribe's army rode on giant snake puppets and appeared behind them on the ground. Yin Buhai and the 2 elders stopped a few miles away in the sky. Boy, did you kill my son? The first thing Yin Buhai did was look at Lu Ming. His voice was cold and emotionless. Yes, he deserved to die. Lu Ming's reply was simple. Good, very good. Boy, I swear that I will make you suffer the most painful torture in the world. I will make you face the dilemma of life and death. Yin Buhai's eyes were terrifyingly gloomy like a poisonous snake. Then, he looked at Qi Jinkong and said, Qi Jinkong, it seems like you don't want to hand him over. Do you want the entire Red Leopard tribe to die with this boy? Try me if you dare. Qi Jinkong said. His attitude was very clear. Good, very good. It seems like you have forgotten the dignity of the Shadow Serpent tribe because we haven't attacked for a few years. Since that's the case, the Red Leopard tribe shall be destroyed. Yin Buhai's voice spread far and wide. As soon as he said the words should be destroyed, shocking battle cries came from behind him. Kill! Flatten the Red Leopard tribe! Kill all the men! Leave the young women behind! The people of the Shadow Snake tribe shouted one after another as they controlled the giant snake puppets to continue charging towards the ancient city of the Red Leopard tribe along the ground. There were too many people. There were at least 20,000 giant snake puppets, and each of them had 2 people sitting on them. One of them was inscribing defensive formations while the other was controlling the puppets and shooting arrows at the same time. Bow and arrow ready. Qi Jin waved his hand. Instantly, tens of thousands of people knocked their arrows. Release! The golden empty-handed hand waved again. Whoosh! 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 A dense rain of arrows shot towards the Shadow Snake tribe's army in the distance. Every arrow had a talisman stuck on it. There were powerful explosive talismans and gale talismans that could increase speed and penetration. More than 10,000 arrows were densely packed, covering the sky and the sun. In the army of the Shadow Snake tribe, inscription formations shone, and light shields appeared one after another, enveloping the puppets and people. At the same time, some people also drew their bows and shot arrows at the Red Leopard tribe. Similarly, the ancient city chief of the Red Leopard tribe also shone with an inscription formation. Boom! Boom! Explosions rang out endlessly, and the ground trembled and swayed continuously. This was a battle between inscriptionists. It was completely different from a battle between martial artists. However, the momentum was not small at all. However, the Shadow Snake tribe had more people and more experts. They kept pushing forward and shooting arrows. The Red Leopard tribe was already at a disadvantage. Summon the puppets and prepare for battle. Qi Jin Kong ordered. The defensive light shield formed by the inscription formation on the ancient city was shaking and would not last long. More and more leopard puppets appeared on the city wall and in the sky. The army of the Shadow Snake tribe was getting closer and closer. They were only a few miles away from the ancient city of the Red Leopard tribe. Lu Ming stood on the city wall and glanced into the distance. "It's about time." Suddenly, Lu Ming whispered. His hands suddenly shone with a green light and started to inscribe in the air. In the end, it turned into an inscription formation and landed on the ground outside the city wall. "Formation, rise!" Lu Ming shouted. Buzz! At this moment, the entire ground seemed to tremble. Then, countless inscriptions appeared on the ground. One formation after another, there was no telling how many of them there were. They covered an area of 30 miles in both length and width. Yes, Lu Ming had spent 3 days and tried his best to inscribe the formation in the area of 30 miles. Almost all of the Shadow Snake tribe was covered. At this moment, the Shadow Snake tribe was in an uproar. What's going on? Why can't I control the puppets? Me too. It seems that my connection with the puppets has been cut off. How can this be? Let me try. I can't control them either. All kinds of horrified cries were heard. Those who were only inscribing formations to help summon their puppets, but the result was the same. They were all cut off from the puppets. The tens of thousands of giant snake puppets stood there motionlessly like stones. Kill! Kill! Puppet army, kill them! Qi Jinkong's eyes shone brightly when he saw this, and his eyes flashed with extreme excitement. He knew that he had made the right bet. He took the lead and rushed out of the city. As for those who had been secretly imparted with Lu Ming's puppet manipulation techniques, all of them followed Qi Jinkong. They rode the cheetah puppet and dashed outside. There were 8,000 people in this army. Each of them had a leopard puppet. They were the real elites of the Red Leopard tribe. Originally, there were only 8,000 people, but the Shadow Snake tribe sent out 40,000 elites. They were no match for them at all. But now, the puppets of the Shadow Snake tribe could not be controlled. They could only fight with inscriptions and inscriptions. Their combat strength was much weaker. There was a huge difference between the combat strength of the puppets and the ones without. Qi Jinkong led the 8,000 troops and rushed into the army of the Shadow Snake tribe. Suddenly, all kinds of roars and screams were heard. It was completely one-sided. Although the people of the Shadow Snake tribe tried their best to resist, it was still one-sided. Without the puppets, they lost their most powerful weapon. The people of the Red Leopard tribe controlled the puppets and fought desperately. Chapter 7:15. How could this be? How could this be? In the sky, Yin Buhai roared in disbelief. Kill! Several elders of the Red Leopard tribe controlled their puppets and flew into the sky, charging toward Yin Buhai and the others. The remaining elders cooperated with Qi Jinkong to kill some of the experts of the Shadow Snake tribe. The rest of you, control your puppets and surround them in the sky. Kill anyone who tries to escape. Qi Jinkong gave the order from the city wall. There were at least 10,000 people of the Red Leopard tribe who controlled their puppets and flew into the sky to surround the people of the Shadow Snake tribe. Lu Ming stood on the city wall and did not take any action. The outcome of the battle was clear and there was no need for him to take any action. Moreover, he didn't have any desire to attack. He discovered that the essence blood of an inscription master contained a very limited amount of essence blood. It was also of limited help to him. Only martial Dao experts or powerful demonic beasts would have extremely powerful essence blood. This made sense. Inscription masters mainly cultivated spirit flames, so their physique and vital energy naturally couldn't be compared to experts in the martial Dao. The battle cries resounded through the sky. There were still many people on the Red Leopard ancient city, but most of them had low cultivation and did not have any puppets. Therefore, they did not participate in the battle and only guarded the city wall. As time passed, the battle cries gradually weakened. The air was filled with the smell of blood and the ground was covered with corpses. The battle lasted for 2 hours before it completely quieted down. The army of the Shadow Snake tribe was almost completely annihilated. Only a few elders with powerful cultivation managed to escape, but they were also severely injured. Even Yin Buhai was severely injured and captured. He was severely injured under the siege of the elders of the Red Leopard tribe. In fact, the Red Leopard tribe's combat power was not much weaker than the Shadow Snake tribe. These experts had risen to power 60 years ago. Bam! Yin Buhai was thrown on the city wall beside Lu Ming's feet. "Brother Lu Ming, I'll leave Yin Buhai to you," an elder of the Red Leopard tribe said. At this moment, the elders of the Red Leopard tribe looked at Lu Ming with gratitude and respect. This battle was all because of Lu Ming. Otherwise, the result would be completely different. How could this be? How could your Red Leopard tribe have such a powerful formation that can sever the connection between humans and puppets? I've never heard of it before. Yin Buhai shouted. This formation was created by me. Lu Ming said coldly as he looked at Yin Buhai. It's you. It's you again, ha ha ha. Could it be that the heavens want my Yin Snake tribe to perish? Yin Buhai shouted unwillingly. This is called reaping what you sowed. Little Qing fell into the hands of your Shadow Snake tribe. If you had treated her well, how could there have been such a disaster? Lu Ming said coldly. Yin Buhai looked at Xian Yanqing and burst into laughter. His laughter was filled with mixed emotions. No one knew whether it was regret or unwillingness. Treat her well? Their Shadow Snake tribe dominated the surrounding dozens of tribes. They were used to being rude and unreasonable. Bullying happened every day in the Shadow Snake tribe. After so many years, the Shadow Snake tribe was still getting more and more prosperous. Nothing happened. Who would have thought that because of a Xian Yanqing, he would provoke someone he shouldn't have? He could only say that he was just unlucky. Bam! Lu Ming took a step forward and a combat sword was formed. He nailed Yin Buhai to the city wall and his storage ring fell into Lu Ming's hands. Warriors of the Red Leopard tribe, follow me and attack the ancient city of the Yin Snake tribe. Qi Jinkong's voice reverberated throughout the area. This time, the Yin Snake tribe had sent out 40,000 elite troops. They wanted to flatten the Red Leopard tribe in one fell swoop. Their defense was definitely the weakest in the ancient city. Now was the best time to attack. We are willing to follow the tribe leader and flatten the Yin Snake tribe. The warriors of the Red Leopard tribe shouted. Then, more than 10,000 troops controlled the puppets and charged towards the Yin Snake tribe. Lu Ming did not participate in this battle. He returned to the ancient city with Xian Yanqing and cultivated in seclusion. The elites of the Yin Snake tribe had been annihilated. Even Yin Buhai was dead. The outcome of this battle was almost predictable. In the Temple of Paragon, Lu Ming placed the Enlightenment Ancient Tree beside him. He held a profound earth crystal in his hand. Lu Ming had obtained many kinds of profound earth crystals in the small island in the heaven boundary. The number was not less than the number of profound earth crystals. Now, the force of earth had merged with the three essences. It was time to upgrade it. There were 9 common essences of heaven and earth: wind, fire, water, metal, wood, lightning, ice, earth and mountain. The intent of Earth was similar to the intent of Earth and Mountain, but it was more advanced. It could be said to be the evolved version of the intent of Earth and Mountain. It was a special intent realm that was full of vicissitudes and ancient vicissitudes. Not only was its offensive power shocking, but its defensive power was also terrifying. It was an extremely powerful intent realm. Now, he was only at the beginning stage of the force of Earth. He could not display its full power. When Lu Ming upgraded it, the power it could display would be terrifying. Crack! Crushing a profound earth crystal, Lu Ming began to cultivate. 3 days later, Lu Ming consumed a total of 30 profound earth crystals to cultivate the force of Earth to the major completion stage. He was only a step away from the great completion stage. Obviously, the force of Earth was harder to cultivate than the 9 common essences. At this time, Lu Ming ended his cultivation. In these 3 days, Qi Jinkong had led the army to fight outside. Now, he had finally returned. The Shadow Snake tribe had been annihilated. The ancient city had been destroyed by the Red Leopard tribe. Many people had surrendered to the Red Leopard tribe. Especially the land that had been occupied by the Shadow Snake tribe. The Red Leopard tribe's people who had been enslaved by the Shadow Snake tribe had all returned to the Red Leopard tribe. In a short time, the Red Leopard tribe's strength had increased greatly. The surrounding tribes all turned pale with fright. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that the extremely powerful Shadow Snake tribe would actually be annihilated. Immediately, those tribes strengthened their defenses, especially those who had enmity with the Red Leopard tribe. They were even more alarmed and their defenses were strengthened several times. The Red Leopard tribe held a grand celebration. During the celebration, Qi Jinkong and the other leaders of the Red Leopard tribe thanked Lu Ming in front of everyone. This battle was all because of Lu Ming. Many people secretly rejoiced that they had chosen to believe in Lu Ming. Otherwise, how could there be such a result? The Red Leopard tribe had been suppressed since the previous patriarch was killed and sealed. After being suppressed for so many years, they finally had a feeling of exaltation. Naturally, they were excited. Everyone was happy, but there were 2 people who were not happy, and that was Qi Jinshan and Qi Feng. Damn it, how could it be like this? Qi Jinshan growled, his fists were clenched so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. His eyes were fixed on Lu Ming. If looks could kill, Lu Ming would have been pierced by thousands of holes. Lu Ming frowned as if he had sensed something. He suddenly turned his head to look at Qi Jinshan. Qi Jinshan was startled and hurriedly turned his head. The corner of Lu Ming's mouth curled up into a cold smile. Lu Ming, I knew I wasn't wrong. When I first saw you, I knew you were the legendary man of destiny. Chapter 7:16. We haven't reached the sacred mountain yet. It's too early to say that I'm the chosen one. I don't know how to awaken your ancient ancestor. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming, don't be humble. I have a feeling that you're the only one who can awaken the ancient ancestor in this trip to the sacred mountain. To be honest, if it weren't for the fact that you're an outsider and have to return one day, and that you have such a beautiful confidant like Miss Xia, I really want to keep you by my side and be my man. Qi Yu blinked her big eyes and spoke very directly. Cough cough. Lu Ming kept coughing. He didn't expect Qi Yu to be so direct. Indeed, the underground humans were different from the outside world. On the side, Xian Yanqing's face turned slightly red as she said, I'm not his confidant. Miss Qi Yu, please keep him as your man. This pervert will definitely be willing. Is that so? Then I won't be polite. Qi Yu giggled and glanced at Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Pervert, hurry up and agree. Xian Yanqing stared at Lu Ming with his big eyes. Every sentence and every word was especially heavy. Ah, ha, this wine is really delicious. Ha, the moonlight today is really beautiful. Lu Ming picked up a cup of wine and took a big gulp. He laughed awkwardly. However, this was the underground world. Where did the moonlight come from? 2 days later, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, Qi Yu, Qi Jinkong, Qi Jinshan, and a few elders of the Red Leopard tribe gathered at the canyon where the previous Red Leopard tribe leader was sealed. The Crimson Blood Sand and Viper Blood Mist were ready. Now, they could break the last 36 sealing formations. Lu Ming strode forward and waved his hand. A cloud of crimson blood sand floated in the air. Then, he took out a jade bottle that contained the Viper Blood Mist. He opened the jade bottle and the crimson blood mist flew out and mixed with the crimson blood sand. Then, Lu Ming's finger moved rapidly in the air. It was so fast that afterimages appeared in the air. Whoosh! Whoosh! Inscriptions attached themselves to the scarlet blood sand and the Viper Blood Mist and flew into the sealing formation in front of them. Everyone held their breaths and watched quietly. Qi Jinkong and the others had expectant looks in their eyes. However, there was one exception, and that was Qi Jinshan. His eyes were filled with anxiety, and his gaze flickered. Wang! The sealing formation flickered, and a huge seven-colored poisonous snake pounced out. However, the seven-colored poisonous snake was shrouded in a layer of blood-red mist. Bang! The seven-colored poisonous snake collapsed in midair. The first of the last 36 great formations had been broken. Lu Ming continued to decipher. His fingers continuously moved, and the scarlet blood sand and the Viper Blood Mist were continuously consumed. Not long after, the second formation was broken. Just like this, one great formation after another was broken by Lu Ming. Lu Ming had to sit down cross-legged to recover his spiritual fire every time he cracked 9 formations. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. There was only one formation left in the 36 great formations. Qi Jinshan and the others widened their eyes and stared at it. Their eyes were filled with excitement, and even their breathing became heavy. Qi Jinshan clenched his fists and slowly moved to the front, close to Lu Ming's position. As Lu Ming's finger moved, inscriptions fell on the ground one after another. Hiss! This time, a total of 3 seven-colored poisonous snakes flew out and collapsed in midair. The seal is broken. God bless my Red Leopard tribe! Qi Jinshan shouted and was the first to move. He rushed directly into the valley. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. He took a step forward, and a vine rushed out and entangled Qi Jinshan. What's going on? Lu Ming, it's you. What are you doing? Qi Jinshan roared. Why are you in such a hurry? Lu Ming sneered and rushed into the valley. Qi Jinshan roared. A puppet appeared and broke the vines. He also rushed in. At the same time, Qi Jinshan and the others also rushed into the valley. The valley was not big. Not long after they rushed in, Lu Ming saw a skeleton sitting cross-legged against the wall. Lu Ming saw at a glance that the skeleton was holding a jade pendant in one of its claws. There was also a storage ring on its finger. Get lost! Qi Jinshan roared. Lu Ming sneered. His genuine vitality swept out and took the jade pendant from the skeleton's storage ring into his hand. Lu Ming, what are you doing? You want to steal the treasure of the previous tribe leader? You're courting death. Qi Jinshan's eyes turned cold. He controlled the puppet and charged at Lu Ming. Clang! At this time, another puppet rushed out and blocked Qi Jinshan's puppet. It was Qi Jinshan's turn. Tribe leader, don't block me. You should have seen that this kid has ulterior motives. He wants to steal the treasures of the previous tribe leader. Qi Jinshan roared. Qi Jinshan, why are you in such a hurry? Who said that I want to steal the treasures of the previous tribe leader? I'm just handing it to the tribe leader. Lu Ming waved his hand and the jade pendant and storage ring flew to Qi Jinshan. Qi Jinshan caught it in his hand. Tribe leader Qi, that jade pendant should be left behind by the previous tribe leader before his death. It should contain some important information. Why don't you take a look? Lu Ming said with a smile. Qi Jinshan's face was gloomy. Qi Jinshan took the jade pendant and sent his spiritual force into it. His face changed drastically and became extremely ugly. Qi Jinshan's figure slowly moved outside. Elders, take down Qi Jinshan. Qi Jinshan suddenly roared. Although the elders were stunned, they did not hesitate. Puppets appeared and surrounded Qi Jinshan in the middle. Tribe leader, what is the meaning of this? Qi Jinshan's face was extremely ugly. What is the meaning of this? Ha, Qi Jinshan, I really didn't expect that you were the one who betrayed the previous tribe leader. If not for that, how could the previous tribe leader be besieged and fall? Before the previous tribe leader died, he recorded everything in this jade pendant. Qi Jinshan, how should you punish yourself? Qi Jinshan roared, his eyes turning red. His heart ached. He had never thought that Qi Jinshan would betray the previous tribe leader. Lu Ming nodded. It was as he had expected. When Qi Yu brought him here and told him that he could break the seal, Qi Jinshan objected with all his might. He even tried to find a reason to kill Lu Ming. It was strange in itself. The others were hoping that Lu Ming could break the seal and let Lu Ming try. Only Qi Jinshan tried his best to stop him. It was as if he was afraid that Lu Ming would break the seal. Hence, Lu Ming had been on guard against him. When he was breaking the last array earlier, Lu Ming had been guarding against him. He used the array to stop him and snatched the items left behind by the previous chief of the Red Leopard tribe. If it landed in Qi Jinshan's hands first, he would definitely destroy the evidence. The elders' faces changed when they heard this. They looked at Qi Jinshan with gloomy faces. Ha ha ha. Chapter 717. Why? Why did you do that? Qi Jinkong asked. It's simple. The resources given to me by the Een Snake tribe and the Heavenly Wolf tribe were enough for me to break through several levels for hundreds of years. Why didn't I help them? What does the death of the previous chief have to do with me? What does the decline of the Red Leopard tribe have to do with me? Anyway, it's not my turn to inherit the position of chief. Ha ha ha. Qi Jinshan laughed maniacally. Selfish. Selfish. Elders, take Qi Jinshan down, extinguish his spiritual fire, bring him back to the tribe, and execute him in public. Qi Jinkong gave the order. There was no suspense in this battle. The elders were all incomparably powerful. Under the joint forces of the elders, the pure gold mountain had no chance of resisting. Not long after, it was taken down. Its spiritual flame was extinguished and brought back to the Red Leopard tribe. Lu Ming did not care about what happened next. He focused on cultivating in seclusion, waiting for the truce in the underground world so that he could go to the sacred mountain. There was a 1-month truce in the underground world every year, and half a month before and after the ancestor worship day. During the truce, no tribe was allowed to fight or kill people from other tribes. Anyone who violated this rule would be besieged by other tribes and turned into ashes. There was about half a month before the truce. Xian Yanqing was also cultivating in seclusion like Lu Ming. The Battle of Providence was getting closer and closer, and he felt a sense of urgency. It was said that the top 600 on the list of top 1,000 talents were all at the Sea Spirit realm, and only a few were at the King realm. Whether it was Lu Ming or Xian Yanqing, they were far from being able to compete with Sea Spirit realm geniuses. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the Temple of Paragon, crushing one earth esoteric crystal after another. He was trying his best to improve the earth momentum. 7 days later, the earth momentum had reached perfection. Lu Ming directly used a mid-grade esoteric crystal to break through to the next level and condense a rune of intent. The earth momentum had successfully evolved to the first level of earth essence. However, this was far from enough. If he wanted to truly unleash a powerful battle prowess, he had to cultivate the concept of earth to perfection. Lu Ming continued to cultivate with the profound earth crystals. In the blink of an eye, another 7 days had passed. Lu Ming had cultivated the profound earth concept to level 1 small success. To increase his power at such a terrifying speed, he had to consume a large number of profound crystal stones. At this moment, it was finally the truce period in the underground world. The Red Leopard tribe was preparing to head to the sacred mountain. "Xiao Qing, how's your harvest these days?" Lu Ming asked as he and Xian Yanqing strolled in the courtyard. Lu Ming asked. "My concept of wind has broken through to the second level. This time, I'm faster than you, right?" Xian Yanqing narrowed his eyes and giggled. "He broke through level 2. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Xian Yanqing's talent was indeed terrifying. His concept of thunder, concept of wind, and concept of fire were all stuck at the limit of level 1. He was only a step away from level 2, but he couldn't break through. He hadn't expected that Xian Yanqing would already have a concept and break through to level 2. Xian Yanqing's cultivation base had already reached peak king. As long as his destruction concept broke through to level 2, Xian Yanqing would be able to open his spiritual sea and become a Sea of Soul Realm expert. Sea of Soul Realm experts were called Sea of Soul Realm experts, and belonged to the first of the 3 realms of Spirit God. It wasn't something King Realm experts could compare to. It was definitely a qualitative leap. However, this step had trapped countless people. The two chatted as they walked. After a while, they arrived at a large plaza outside. A lot of people had already gathered here. One after another, huge cheetah puppets stopped in the plaza. "Lu Ming, Miss Xia, you're here. We're about to set off." Qi Yu walked over and smiled. This time, Qi Jinkong was personally leading the group. He was accompanied by 2 tribe elders and more than 100 experts of the Red Leopard tribe. Qi Yu was also going. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a huge cheetah puppet appeared on the ground. This cheetah puppet had battle prowess equivalent to the 4th layer of spiritual sea realm. It was a gift from the Red Leopard tribe. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing leaped onto the cheetah puppet's back. "Everyone's here. Let's go." Qi Jinkong gave the order. Gales whistled as the cheetah puppet rose up and flew toward the north. Like Lu Ming, there were more than 100 people who came from outside the earth. They were going to the sacred mountain to participate in the test. The sacred mountain was north of the Red Leopard tribe, separated by dozens of large and small tribes. The distance was quite far, so they could only travel without rest. Along the way, no tribe stopped them. After 13 days of non-stop travel, they finally arrived at the foot of the sacred mountain and set up camp there. What a majestic mountain! Lu Ming stood at the foot of the mountain and looked ahead. A huge and majestic mountain stood between heaven and earth, straight into the sky, surrounded by clouds and mist. The mountain covered a large area. At the foot of the mountain, one could see one tribe after another, clearly separated. Like the Red Leopard tribe, they set up camp and waited for the outsiders to climb the mountain in 2 days. It was said that the ancient ancestor of the underground lived at the top of this mountain. People from the underground couldn't climb the mountain. It was said that only people from outside the earth could climb the mountain and go through the test. The one who finally reached the top of the mountain could awaken the ancient ancestor. Could this sacred mountain be the real location of the martial emperor's treasure? Lu Ming thought. He believed that not only him, but most outsiders also thought so. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. On this day, a dense crowd appeared in all directions of the sacred mountain. "Lu Ming, Miss Xia, it is said that there is an endless inscription formation on the sacred mountain. You can't fly up, you can only climb it on foot," Qi Yu said to Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded. "Let's go." A loud roar was heard. Lu Ming saw that people from another tribe had already rushed up the sacred mountain. Strangely, as soon as those people rushed up the sacred mountain, their figures disappeared. Sure enough, there was a formation on the sacred mountain. Whoosh! Whoosh! However, not long after, Lu Ming saw that some people who had rushed in flew back from the inside. "What's going on? What's going on inside?" Someone hurriedly asked. "You have to pass the tests inside, and experts with the same cultivation base as me will appear. Every time you pass a test, more and more experts will appear. When I fail, I will be bounced back." Someone sighed. It seems that there won't be any danger if you fail. Let's go. Then, even more people rushed into the mountain. Soon, more people were bounced back. Some people from the Red Leopard tribe also rushed in, but they were bounced back soon. The situation they encountered was similar to the others. Experts with the same cultivation base as them appeared to fight with them. The more tests they passed, the more experts would appear later. Let's go, Lil Qing. Lu Ming said. Okay, be careful. Chapter 7:18. The surroundings suddenly changed. Lu Ming realized that he was standing on a platform. In front of the platform, there was a stone staircase that led upwards. There seemed to be another platform above it. What a mysterious array. I can't even find a trace of it. Lu Ming was quite shocked. With his current level of inscription, he couldn't even find a trace of it. The array here was definitely beyond the 5th grade. No, it was far beyond the 6th grade. It wasn't something he could pry into right now. Kid, the inscription array here is incredible. It was definitely set up by someone with extremely high attainments in inscription. Dandan looked left and right on Lu Ming's shoulder. There weren't many things that could make Dandan say such words. Buzz! At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lu Ming. It was a muscular man in his 30s. He looked like a real person, but his expression was very cold. His voice was also very cold. As long as you can defeat me, you can go to the next level. Clang! The sound of a sword rang out. Sword chi was rampant. A battle sword appeared in the muscular man's hand, and he slashed at Lu Ming. Peak King. Lu Ming's expression changed. The person who appeared was indeed at the same level as him, a Peak King. However, Lu Ming could kill martial artists at the same level as him in an instant. With a punch, the exploding fist light directly turned the figure into ashes. Lu Ming strode forward. He walked along the stone staircase and arrived at the second platform. This time, 2 figures appeared on the platform. The 2 figures looked exactly the same as the muscular man from before. Moreover, they were both Peak Kings. As long as you can defeat us, you can go to the next level. As the voice faded, the sound of swords rang out. The 2 muscular men attacked Lu Ming at the same time. Their attacks formed a strange network. Battle array. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The 2 muscular men weren't using ordinary attacks. Instead, they were cooperating to form a large array. The power wasn't as simple as 1 multiplied by 2. Instead, it was several times stronger. However, it was still nothing to Lu Ming. He punched out. The boundless fist energy drowned the 2 muscular men. When the fist force disappeared, the 2 brawny men also disappeared. Lu Ming continued forward. In the 3rd stage, 4 burly men appeared. Once again, the 4 of them worked together to set up a formation that was even more terrifying. However, he was still crushed by Lu Ming's exploding star fist. He barged through with force. In the 4th stage, there were 8 strong men. In the 5th stage, there were 16 strong men. Every stage, the number of people would double, and the battle formations would be set up, their power terrifying. It was simply impossible for ordinary martial artists to break through. Only a few peerless geniuses could pass through. Soon, he reached the 7th stage. There were a total of 64 muscular men in the 7th trial, and all of them were Peak Kings. Their power was unimaginably terrifying. It's just right for me to hone my conception. With the infinite dragon spear in hand, Lu Ming weaved through the crowd. He fused the earth concept with the other 3 concepts, constantly attacking and tempering his own concept. A moment later, the 64 burly men were all killed by Lu Ming. Whoosh! At this moment, a jade token flew toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and caught the jade token in his hand. What's this? Is this my reward? Lu Ming's mind sank into the jade token, and a trace of joy appeared on his face. In the jade token was a martial skill, a demigod-level martial skill. A demigod-level martial skill was extremely precious. Lu Ming put it away. As he continued forward, the surrounding environment suddenly changed again. This time, Lu Ming came to an underground cave. In the underground cave, there was a pool. The pool water was so clear that one could see the bottom. It seems that there were a total of 7 stages before. Now, I've come to another stage. Lu Ming pondered. In this stage, you have to count the ripples in the water clearly. Only by counting the correct ones can you pass. At this moment, a voice rang out. Count the ripples in the water clearly. It seems that this stage tests one's observation skills. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then, he came to the side of the pool. A water droplet fell from above. The water droplet landed on the surface of the water, creating layers of ripples. Lu Ming's mind was highly focused, and his eyes were fixed on the water surface. Layers of ripples continued to spread. At first, they were very clear, but eventually, they became fainter and finally disappeared. A total of 1,356 layers. Lu Ming answered. Correct. Look again. The voice rang out again. This time, a total of 2 water droplets fell into the pool. The ripples formed by the 2 water droplets interfered with each other. The difficulty was more than 10 times higher than before. Lu Ming had to count how many ripples were formed by the 2 water droplets. After a while, the water droplets disappeared. 2,537. Lu Ming answered. Correct. Continue looking. The voice rang out again. There's more. Lu Ming frowned. This time, there were 3 water droplets. The ripples formed by the 3 water droplets interfered with each other and became more complicated. Lu Ming observed carefully. After a while, the water droplets disappeared. Lu Ming frowned. In his mind, he kept thinking about the water droplets he saw earlier. How many ripples? The voice asked. 3,600. Lu Ming answered. Congratulations, you've passed the stage. The voice rang out. Then, with the sound of the air being torn apart, a battle sword flew over. Lu Ming grabbed it in his hand. This battle sword is of high quality. It should be a level 6 peerless battle sword. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Spirit weapons were divided into inferior, middle, and superior grades. Above the superior grades were the supreme grades and the peerless grades. Lu Ming's infinite dragon spear was now a level 6 superior grade weapon. The quality of this battle sword was much higher than Lu Ming's infinite dragon spear. It was a pity that Lu Ming couldn't use it. In another cave, Xian Yanqing waved his hand and grabbed a battle sword. A level 6 peerless battle sword. Xian Yanqing kept it and continued to move forward. Like Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing also obtained a demigod-level martial technique and a battle sword. In another cave, Kenfei Ryu also passed 2 stages and obtained a demigod-level martial technique and a battle sword. With this martial technique and battle sword, my combat strength can continue to increase. Kenfei Ryu's eyes were filled with excitement. At this moment, at the foot of the sacred mountain, people were constantly being sent flying. Only Lu Ming and Miss Xia are left. I wonder how they are doing. Qi Jinkong sighed. Almost all of the Red Leopard tribe's more than 100 outsiders had failed. Only Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were still inside. Father, don't worry. I believe that Lu Ming will succeed. Qi Yu's eyes were shining. She had great faith in Lu Ming. The Red Leopard tribe was still doing well. Many tribes were already sighing because they had been completely wiped out. In the sacred mountain, Lu Ming kept his battle sword and strode forward. The scene around him changed again. In front of him, there were 9 passages that led forward. Chapter 7:19. There are 9 paths here. Among them, only one is a path of life. The other 8 are paths of death. Once you step into them, you will die without a doubt. Choose one yourself. That voice sounded again. Lu Ming's heart trembled. 9 paths, 8 paths of death, and 1 path of life. If he were to choose it himself, the chance of survival would only be 1 in 9. Was this a test of luck? Senior, do you have any hints? Lu Ming asked. There are no hints. Choose freely. The voice sounded. Lu Ming's brows furrowed even tighter. Is it really a test of luck? Impossible. Luck is an illusory thing. No one can say for sure. Since the person who set up these formations wanted to test me, it would not be a test of luck. Otherwise, what's the point of the first 2 stages? It's better to test my luck directly. Lu Ming's mind spun rapidly. You have 5 minutes to consider. If you don't choose, just back off. That voice sounded again. Why do I need 5 minutes? I can make my decision now. Lu Ming smiled faintly and strode toward the path in the middle. 9 paths appeared in front of Xian Yanqing. It was exactly the same as Lu Ming's. Xian Yanqing pondered for a moment and strode toward the 4th path. Kenfei Ryu looked at the 9 paths in front of him and frowned. After pondering for a while, he sighed and turned to leave. After a short while, his figure appeared at the foot of the mountain. Faced with only 1 in 9 paths of life, how many people could make a choice? After Lu Ming stepped into the middle path, he found himself in a huge cave the next moment. The cave was very spacious. In the middle of the cave, there was an altar. At this moment, a light flashed in the cave and another figure appeared. Little Qing. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming. Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming and walked over with a smile. Sure enough, the 9 paths are a lie. Xian Yanqing said with a smile. It's not really a lie, but it requires a person's courage and wisdom. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming speculated that the previous 9 paths were not 8 paths of death and 1 path of life, but all paths of life. As for saying that there were 8 dead ends, it was purely a bluff. This depended on everyone's judgment. Of course, it also required a lot of courage. For some people, even if they had guessed the answer, whether or not they dared to step in was another matter altogether. What if there really was a dead end? Courage is needed here. Without a doubt, Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming had successfully passed that trial. After a while, no one else appeared except for Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Sigh, after so many years, someone has finally come here. At that instant, a sigh could be heard. Who? Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's expressions flickered. Aren't you here to find me? The voice could be heard. Following this, Lu Ming saw a figure appear on the altar in the middle. It was a middle-aged man around the age of 40, wearing a long robe with 2 different colors. He floated in midair while emitting a terrifying pressure from his body. The middle-aged man did not unleash his aura, but the pressure was naturally emitted from his body. Lu Ming felt like he was facing the vast heavens and earth, a whole new world. Powerful, too powerful. Lu Ming was astounded. However, it was obvious that the middle-aged man did not have a physical body, but an illusionary one, as if his body was transparent. Powerful, too powerful. This is a martial emperor realm expert. Dandan screamed in fright. Her limbs and head shrank back into the turtle shell. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were astounded. Martial Emperor Realm Expert, wasn't that a martial emperor? The person before them was a martial emperor. Could it be that the martial emperor's treasure was real? Interesting little tortoise. The middle-aged man glanced at Dandan, then his eyes fell on Lu Ming, then on Xian Yanqing, as if the sun, the moon, and the stars were changing in his eyes. Interesting little guys, you're hiding a lot of things. The middle-aged man smiled and waved his hand. In that instant, Lu Ming seemed to be unable to control himself. 5 mental rings were suspended above his head. 5 stages, and 10 spiritual lamps were lit. Powerful, powerful. I was only like this back then. Haha, good. The middle-aged man laughed. Senior, may I know who you are? Did you set up the entrance to the Martial Emperor's treasure in the chaotic astral ocean? Lu Ming asked. The man before them should be the ancient ancestor that the people of the underground world talked about. Who am I? Sigh, it's been thousands of years. I've almost forgotten myself. The middle-aged man sighed faintly. After a moment of silence, he said, My name is Liao Cong. Liao Cong. Lu Ming was confused. He had never heard of this name before. However, Xian Yanqing exclaimed, Liao Cong, you're the Talisman Puppet Emperor, the sect leader of the Talisman Puppet sect, Liao Cong. Xian Yanqing opened his eyes wide in disbelief. What? He is a Talisman Puppet Emperor. Lu Ming also turned pale with fright, his heart trembling. He had never heard of the name Liao Cong, but the Talisman Puppet Emperor was something that many people had heard of. There were 4 overlord forces in the eastern wilderness. Emperor Heaven Divine Palace, Heavenly Corpse Sect, Sky Monster Valley, and Talisman Puppet Sect. The Talisman Puppet Sect focused on inscriptions. They mainly cultivated the Tao of inscriptions, and martial arts were only supplementary. The Talisman Puppet Emperor was the sect leader of the Talisman Puppet Sect. His Tao of inscriptions had reached level 9, which was equivalent to the Martial Emperor realm. He was as famous as Martial Emperor De. There were only a handful of Martial Emperors in the Eastern Wilderness. He could shake the entire Eastern Wilderness with a stomp of his feet. He was even one of the top experts in the entire Divine Wilderness continent. It was said that the Talisman Puppet Emperor had fallen 3,000 years ago. As for why he had fallen, it had always been a mystery. But why would he appear underground? Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing had countless questions in their hearts. Little girl, you know quite a lot. Your bloodline is very special. You must be from a family in the Middle Continent, right? Liao Cong smiled. Xian Yanqing didn't say anything. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Middle Continent. Xian Yanqing was from the Middle Continent. Then why was she in the Eastern Wilderness? You must want to know what happened, right? Why am I here? Liao Cong said. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing nodded. Actually, I was ambushed. The person who ambushed me was the palace master of the Heavenly Divine Palace, Martial Emperor De. Liao Cong said word by word. What? Lu Ming's heart trembled again. The Talisman Puppet Emperor, Liao Cong, was ambushed by Martial Emperor De. This was completely out of their expectations. Chapter 720. 3,000 years ago, Liao Cong was beaten to the point that only a strand of his soul remained. At first, Liao Cong was filled with hatred and wanted to take revenge. Therefore, he taught the Tao of inscription to the underground humans, hoping to cultivate an Emperor realm expert to take revenge for him. Therefore, Liao Cong became the ancestor of the underground humans. However, Liao Cong discovered that the underground humans had a special physique. Maybe it was because they were underground, they were different from the Tao of heaven and earth. They were separated from the sun, the moon, and the stars. Therefore, the underground humans were not like the people outside who had unlimited possibilities. The humans here could only cultivate to level 6. Yes, level 6 was equivalent to the Sea of Spirit realm, which was what the underground humans called the Divine realm. How could a level 6 help him take revenge? Moreover, Liao Cong's soul could not go out to look for a successor. As an Emperor realm expert, De would sense him the moment he went out. Helplessly, Lian Cong forged the 9 jade swords and found a few level 6 elites. He sent them out of the earth and built an entrance to the underground world. Then, he scattered the 9 jade swords all over the place, hoping to find a fated person to enter the underground world and become Lian Cong's descendant and avenge him in the future. Liao Cong purposely spread the news that if someone from outside the underground world came in, there would be a fated person who could wake him up. However, as time passed, no one came in. Liao Cong was already in despair. His strand of soul went into a deep sleep. 3,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. Unexpectedly, after 3,000 years, someone finally came in. Moreover, there were two people who made it to the last stage. As soon as Xian Yanqing and Lu Ming entered the last cave, Liao Cong sensed them instantly due to the array. He woke up from his deep sleep. After hearing this, Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Martial Emperor De again. He could not help but think of Supreme Menine Yang. He was also killed by Martial Emperor De, leaving only a strand of soul behind. Two peerless talents, how similar their endings were. You are the De Tian Divine Guard of the De Tian Divine Palace, right? I can feel the fluctuation of the Divine Guard medallion on you. Liao Cong looked at Lu Ming. In his eyes, it was as if the sun, the moon, and the stars were spinning. Lu Ming was shocked. Liao Cong and De were enemies. Would Liao Cong kill him? Thinking of this, a layer of cold sweat appeared on his back. Xian Yanqing moved in front of Lu Ming and stared at Liao Cong. Even if he was an Emperor realm expert, if he wanted to kill Lu Ming, he would have no choice but to fight. Haha, the two of you have a good relationship. You're also very brave. I like it. Liao Cong laughed. Xian Yanqing's face was slightly red, but he still gritted his teeth and stood in front of Lu Ming. Looking at Xian Yanqing's slender back, Lu Ming felt very warm in his heart. He took a step forward and held Xian Yanqing's hand, standing side by side with Xian Yanqing. Yes, the two of you are equally talented. You're a perfect match. Don't worry, little guys. The enmity between me and De has nothing to do with others. Moreover, although this little guy is a De Tian Divine Guard, I'm afraid he hasn't even seen De's face. Who am I, Liao Cong? Why would I implicate him? Liao Cong laughed. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were secretly relieved. To be honest, facing an Emperor realm expert, even if it was just a remnant soul, the pressure was terrifying. The difference was too big. An Emperor realm expert could kill them 8 to 10 times with just a breath. Senior, to be honest, De and I will be enemies sooner or later. Lu Ming clasped his fist and said. You and De will be enemies? You're just a martial king. What enmity do you have with him? Wait, could it be the one in your body? Liao Cong's eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. Buzz! At this moment, Lu Ming's body shone like the sun. In the next moment, a figure appeared and floated in the air. Senior Zhou Yang! Lu Ming exclaimed. This figure was Supreme Zhou Yang. Junior Zhou Yang greets Senior Lien. It's been a few thousand years since we parted. Supreme Zhou Yang clasped his fist and bowed to Liao Cong. Liao Cong frowned slightly. Then his eyes lit up and he said, You're Zhou Yang. What's going on? Based on the fluctuations of your soul, you should have already reached the Exalt realm. With your heaven-defying bloodline and physique, it wouldn't be so easy for ordinary emperors to take you down. How did you end up like this? 3,000 years ago, before Liao Cong's accident, Supreme Zhou Yang had just risen. He was the most dazzling genius of that era. He had seen Liao Cong a few times. That was why Liao Cong recognized him. Supreme Zhou Yang smiled bitterly and told Liao Cong about his experience. What? You were also harmed by that old man De. That old man De is so despicable. Liao Cong shouted angrily. He was harmed by De. Because they belonged to two different forces, it was normal for them to be competitors. However, Supreme Zhou Yang was the disciple of Martial Emperor De. He had fought for Martial Emperor De all his life. How sad was it that he ended up like this? It was really sad. What does that old man De want to do? Does he want to unify the Eastern Barren territory? Liao Cong said. As far as I know, his goal is not only the Eastern Barren territory. Supreme Zhou Yang said. What? He's so ambitious. Liao Cong said. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing stood aside and listened quietly. They had heard a lot of secrets from Supreme Jiu Yang and Liao Cong. They were not qualified to know these secrets with their cultivation. At this moment, Liao Cong looked at Lu Ming again and said, "No wonder I felt that this kid's blood force was extraordinary. He has awakened the 9 dragons' blood force. However, it will be difficult for him to fight against DE. Since it has come to this, we can only take one step at a time." Supreme Jiu Yang sighed. "However, it's not like there's no turning back. According to you, the battle of luck is coming soon. If we do well in the battle of luck, we may have a chance." Liao Cong thought for a while and looked at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, are you willing to be my disciple?" "Disciple?" Lu Ming was stunned. "I see that you have great talent in the art of inscription. I can teach you everything I know. This way, you will have more power to fight against Martial Emperor DE in the future." Liao Cong said. "Lu Ming, this is a great opportunity. Why don't you become my disciple?" Supreme Jiu Yang urged. "Disciple Lu Ming greets master." Lu Ming took a few steps forward and knelt down to greet Liao Cong. How could he not be willing to become the disciple of an martial emperor? This was a great opportunity. Good, good, good. Ha ha ha. Liao Cong laughed. Immediately after, he pointed a finger at Lu Ming's glabella. There was a flash of light and Lu Ming suddenly felt that there was something in his mind. As for what it was, he felt that it was a bit vague and he could not see it clearly. "Disciple, I've already sealed all that I've learned in my life and some of my cultivation experiences into a formation. Now, I'm sending it into your mind. In the future, you can slowly study it and cultivate. However, there are many layers of seals in that formation. With your current cultivation, you can only read things of level 5 and below. When you become a level 6 inscriptionist, you will be able to read all the things of level 6 inscriptionists." Chapter 721. "Thank you very much, Master." Lu Ming was overjoyed and thanked him. How precious was the lifetime worth of knowledge and cultivation experience of an Emperor Realm expert. It was much more precious than any treasure. Lu Ming would be able to avoid many detours in his cultivation in the future. He would be able to improve his cultivation at the fastest speed. This was an Emperor Realm expert, one of the most powerful experts in the Divine Wilderness continent. He was not like Dandan, who bragged about how powerful he was. He knew a lot of things, but he would only throw them to Lu Ming and let Lu Ming learn by himself. He had no experience to learn from. "Yes. This is the spirit weapon that I used back then. It's called the Million Formation Illustration. It's a pity that I fought with DE back then and it was damaged. Many of the inscription arrays on it have been destroyed. However, it's still very powerful. Given your current cultivation level, you can't use it yet. Perhaps it will be of great use to you when your cultivation level increases in the future. Take it." Million Formation Image. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He took the Million Formation Image and put it away. Lu Ming had never heard of the Million Formation Image. However, since it was Liao Cong's treasure, it must be extraordinary. By the side, Supreme Jiu Yang was secretly shocked. Although Lu Ming had never heard of it, he knew that the 10,000 Formation Illustration was the treasure that made Liao Cong famous. It was a powerful level 9 spirit weapon and was considered an imperial treasure. Its power was earth-shattering and could destroy the heavens. It was extremely terrifying. Now, Liao Cong had given such an important treasure to Lu Ming. It was obvious that he valued Lu Ming very much. "My dear disciple, your little girlfriend's talent is also extremely shocking. Her bloodline physique has a great background. Since she has made it to the final stage, I have to do something. Now, let me help you unleash the power of your bloodline to the maximum." Liao Cong waved his hand and a ray of light enveloped Xian Yanqing. A bloody light flashed behind Xian Yanqing, and a lotus flower appeared. On the lotus flower, a beautiful woman sat cross-legged. As expected, it's this kind of bloodline. Even in that family, this kind of bloodline only appears very rarely. It's called an anomaly. Haha, let me see the effect of bloodline nirvana. Liao Cong waved his finger and a mystical array entered Xian Yanqing's veins. Immediately, a black cocoon formed around Xian Yanqing's veins. Xian Yanqing sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes, and began to cultivate. Yes. Liao Cong nodded, within 3 days, I should be able to achieve nirvana. He then looked at Supreme Nine Sons and said, 9 Sons, how is the current situation of the Talisman Puppet Sect? Supreme Nine Sons pondered for a moment and said, since Senior Lian's accident, the Talisman faction, and the Puppet faction have split into 2 factions. Their strength has weakened greatly. Now, the Talisman Puppet Sect has been occupied by the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse Sect. It's not as strong as before. I knew it. Once something happened to me, I would end up like this. Liao Cong sighed. I even heard that the Puppet faction has the intention to join the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Supreme Nine Sons said. Damn it, the Talisman Puppet Sect must not be destroyed because of this. Disciple. Suddenly, Liao Cong looked at Lu Ming and said, the 10,000 formation illustration is not only a supreme treasure, but also the token of the Talisman Puppet Sect's patriarch. In the future, the Talisman Puppet Sect will be handed over to you. After you leave, think of a way to reorganize the Talisman Puppet Sect and merge the 2 factions into one. Me? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. The Talisman Puppet Sect was a formidable existence. How could he possibly have the strength to do so? Disciple, since you are my successor and have my token, the Talisman Puppet Sect will be handed over to you. Furthermore, once you have the Talisman Puppet Sect in your hands, you will have the strength to fight against Martial Emperor De in the future. Liao Cong said. That's right, Lu Ming. This is Senior Liao Cong's kindness. Supreme Nine Sons said. Alright, I promise Master that I will try my best. Lu Ming brought his fists together and said. Indeed, if he could really control the Talisman Puppet Sect, he would have the strength to fight against Martial Emperor De. Great, great. I'm relieved. Initially, with my soul force, I would only be able to hold on for a few years before my soul dissipated. Who would have thought that I would be able to find hope before my death? The heavens are kind to me. Liao Cong burst out laughing. Master. Lu Ming was sad. It was already unbelievable that a remnant soul could hold on for thousands of years. He knew that Liao Cong might not be able to hold on for a few more years. Jiu Yang, there is still hope for you to be resurrected. If you are resurrected in the future, you should help Lu Ming. Liao Cong said. Of course. However, resurrection is easier said than done. Supreme Nine Sons sighed. There is always hope. Alright, I have told you everything. When the girl wakes up, I will send you all back to the outer world. Liao Cong said. Master, what about the other people from the outer world? Lu Ming asked. Let the others stay in the outer world. With my current strength, I can't send so many people out. Liao Cong said calmly. Lu Ming sighed. Liao Cong was an Emperor realm expert who could suppress the 9 heavens. Ordinary martial artists were like ants in his eyes. If he and Xian Yanqing didn't make it to the last stage and caught Liao Cong's attention and accepted him as his disciple, they would be nothing more than ants in Liao Cong's eyes. Master, I want to bring a friend out with me. Can I? Lu Ming asked. A friend? Of course. Alright, we can also solve the problem of the outer world. Liao Cong waved his hand. Lu Ming felt the world change. In the next moment, Lu Ming appeared in the sky outside the sacred mountain. Outside the sacred mountain, hundreds of tribes were staring at the sacred mountain. Most of the tribes were sighing in sorrow because their people had all failed. Then, they looked at each other to see which tribe hadn't come out yet. Lu Ming and Miss Xie haven't come out yet. Maybe there is still hope. Qi Yu, Qi Jinkong and the others of the Red Leopard tribe clenched their fists and stared at the sacred mountain with anticipation. Look, there is someone in the sky. Suddenly, someone shouted. Countless people looked up and saw a figure appear in the air. He stood in midair and did not descend. What's going on? How did this person appear in the sky? The others were bounced back by the array. This is strange. Which tribe did he come from? Lu Ming's appearance caused a wave of confusion. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. The people of the Red Leopard tribe were shocked. Did he succeed? Did Lu Ming fail too? At this moment, the entire sacred mountain emitted a dazzling light. The light shone on the land for thousands of miles. In the light, a figure appeared. This figure was 10,000 meters tall. It was huge and emitted an aura like the sky. It was Liao Cong. Ancestor, the ancestor has awakened. It's really the ancestor. Chapter 722. Even the people from the outer world felt the same. Liao Cong's aura was too powerful. It was boundless, making people feel like they were facing the universe. Facing this pressure, the people from the outer world also knelt down. No one was an exception. It was not a matter of whether they wanted to kneel or not, but they had no choice. This man is the destined one. Liao Cong's voice came out of his mouth. Countless people's eyes gathered on Lu Ming. This young man was the destined one. Was he the one who awakened the ancient ancestor? Lu Ming. It's really him. It's really him. The people of the Red Leopard tribe were all ecstatic. They were so excited that their bodies were shaking. It was really Lu Ming. And Lu Ming was sent by the Red Leopard tribe. What kind of reward would the ancient ancestor give them? They were all looking forward to it. Which tribe sent this destined one? Liao Cong's voice came out again. It was as if the gods were talking. His voice was like thunder, echoing between heaven and earth. It's us. It's our sacred wind tribe. Qi Jinkong did not say anything. Suddenly, a shout came out. There was a group of people in that direction. There were more than 1,000 of them. Every one of them had a powerful aura. They were all inscribers above the Sea of Souls realm, rank 6. It's the sacred wind tribe. This time, they are even stronger. That's right. The sacred wind tribe was the strongest tribe in the first place. They have countless experts. Now, they're the ones who delivered the mandate of heaven. The ancient ancestor will definitely reward them. The strong will strengthen the strong. In the future, which tribe will be the sacred wind tribe's opponent? The other tribes were all discussing. Damn it! The people of the Red Leopard tribe screamed in their hearts. The sacred wind tribe was so shameless that they stole their credit. However, they didn't dare to make a sound. The sacred wind tribe was too powerful. If they made a sound and the ancient ancestor didn't punish the sacred wind tribe, then their Red Leopard tribe would be in danger. If the sacred wind tribe wanted to destroy their Red Leopard tribe, it would be easy. Sacred wind tribe, how dare you deceive me? You should die. Liao Cong's voice came out. 2 beams of light shot out from his eyes toward the sacred wind tribe. Ah! Ancient ancestor, please forgive us. The people of the sacred wind tribe screamed in horror. But it was all useless. 2 beams of light swept past, and the people of the sacred wind tribe all disappeared, turning into ashes. All the extraterrestrial people who had come with the sacred wind tribe had disappeared. 2 gazes, all dead. Even though Liao Cong was only left with a remnant of his soul, and even though this remnant of his soul was about to dissipate, his power was still terrifying. At this moment, everyone at the scene was as silent as cicadas in winter. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The sacred wind tribe doesn't need to exist in this world. All tribes should unite and attack them. Liao Cong said. Yes, ancient ancestor. Countless tribes responded loudly. With one word from Liao Cong, the number 1 tribe in the underground world was doomed to extinction. I already know that the Red Leopard tribe is the one who sent us the mandate of heaven this time. Now, I will bestow upon you a spirit cultivation technique. As soon as Liao Cong finished speaking, a piece of jade flew towards the red leopard tribe. Qi Jinkong received it respectfully and hurriedly kowtowed. Thank you for your gift, ancient ancestor. In his heart, he was extremely excited. Spirit cultivation technique, it was actually a spirit cultivation technique. This was a priceless treasure. With time, how many elites could be born in the red leopard tribe? In the future, it was possible for the red leopard tribe to become the strongest tribe in the underground world. There were so many tribes in the underground world, but none of them had a spirit cultivation technique. This was the legendary sacred book. The other tribes were extremely envious. Some people looked at the jade in Qi Jinkong's hand with burning eyes. Also, these 9 inscription talismans, each of them can kill those above the immortal realm. You can keep them. Liao Cong's voice sounded again. The 9 inscription talismans flew towards Qi Jinkong. Thank you for your gift, ancient ancestor. Qi Jinkong received it and bowed again. With these 9 inscription talismans, the red leopard tribe's safety could be guaranteed. Some of the tribes that had other thoughts suddenly felt a chill in their hearts. It was obvious that the ancient ancestor wanted to protect the red leopard tribe. How would they dare to have other thoughts? Qiyu, tribe leader Qi, Lu Ming will take his leave now. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice came into Qiyu and Qi Jinkong's ears. Qiyu looked up and saw the ancient ancestor waving his hand. Lu Ming's figure disappeared. Qiyu felt lost. She sighed in her heart. She knew that after today's parting, they might never meet again. Lu Ming was a heaven's favorite from the outer world. The outer world was so vast. After all, the underground was only one stop in Lu Ming's life journey. At the same time, Liao Cong's figure also disappeared. Along with him, Kenfei Ryu, who was standing in a tribe. The surroundings changed. Lu Ming found that he was back in the cave. With a flash of light, Liao Cong also appeared. At the same time, another figure flashed. Kenfei Ryu's figure also appeared. As soon as Kenfei Ryu appeared, he hurriedly retreated and put on a cautious look. When he saw Lu Ming, he let out a sigh of relief. He looked at Liao Cong, Lu Ming, and Xian Yanqing. He said, "Brother Lu, what is going on?" "Brother Jian, in a few days, the 3 of us will go out and return to the outer world. Brother Jian, please don't ask too much about other things," Lu Ming said. Kenfei Ryu was stunned. Although he had many questions in his heart, since Lu Ming said not to ask too much, it most likely involved Lu Ming's secrets. Kenfei Ryu was smart enough not to ask too much. In the following time, Lu Ming and Kenfei Ryu sat cross-legged, waiting for Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's consciousness sank into his mind. He found that there was a shining object in his mind. On top of it, there were layers upon layers of arrays. This was the sealing array that Liao Cong inserted into his mind. It was about Liao Cong's cultivation experience and cultivation experience. Lu Ming controlled the flame of will and approached the sealing array. The first layer of the array was not very strong. Soon, it was broken by the flame of will. Suddenly, Lu Ming found that he had entered a vast space. Here, there were countless Liao Congs sitting cross-legged, explaining their cultivation experience and cultivation experience. It was as if there were countless Liao Cong teaching him cultivation. He could listen to any one of them. Amazing, truly amazing. Lu Ming sighed. He stopped in front of one of the Liao Cong and listened. After a while, this Liao Cong repeated what he just said. Lu Ming listened to it a few times and felt that he understood it. Then, he walked to the next Liao Cong. Just like that, Lu Ming listened to each and every one of them. Here, it was all about the Liao Cong's knowledge and cultivation experience of the 5th level and before. Although Lu Ming had reached the peak of the 5th level, after listening to it, he found that he still had a lot to learn. His foundation in the path of inscription was getting stronger. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. On the 4th day, Xian Yanqing's qi began to increase rapidly. The black cocoon above her head began to crack. Chapter 723. Crack. The black cocoon on Xian Yanqing's head cracked open. Then, a dazzling silver light flashed out. It was the light emitted by the chakras. 9 chakras. Lu Ming looked at it and saw 9 silver chakras. 9th level king bloodline. How is this possible? Lu Ming was stunned. Kenfei Ryu was even more shocked. They had fought together and knew that Xian Yanqing's bloodline was originally a 7th level king bloodline. But now, it had become a 9th level king bloodline. It was unbelievable. Not bad at all. This bloodline is indeed powerful. I wonder what level the 3rd bloodline will be like. Liao Cong looked at Xian Yanqing and nodded with satisfaction. It seems that the 9 Dragons bloodline is not the only type of bloodline in this world. Lu Ming sighed. In the Great Thousand Realms, there were all sorts of strange things. In the past, the place where Shao Chen stayed was still too small. When he stepped onto a broader stage, he would definitely see even more wondrous things. There were all sorts of bloodlines. The 9 Dragons bloodline might not be the only bloodline that could be upgraded. Xian Yanqing's bloodline was actually able to rise to the 9th level of the king level through another method through the nirvana of his bloodline. A 9th level king bloodline was the highest level that a 2nd bloodline could reach. Normally, a 3rd bloodline was needed to reach the divine bloodline. After a while, the silver light disappeared. Xian Yanqing's bloodline also disappeared and entered her body. She opened her eyes. All right, now, step onto the altar. I will send you out. Liao Cong said. Kenfei Ryu and Xian Yanqing stepped onto the altar. Lu Ming came to Liao Cong and bowed. Master, I will take my leave. Go. I will not be able to help you in the future. You will have to rely on yourself. Liao Cong nodded. Lu Ming's heart ached. Although he did not spend much time with Liao Cong, Lu Ming did treat Liao Cong as his real master. Strictly speaking, this was the first time Lu Ming had formally acknowledged a master. Lu Ming knew that this farewell might be forever. With Liao Cong's soul power, he would not be able to hold on for more than a few years. An emperor of a generation, ending up like this, it was really sad. Lu Ming bowed again and stepped onto the altar. Liao Cong waved his hands and the altar began to glow. Inscriptions flashed and in the next moment, they felt the world was spinning. When the surroundings stabilized, they opened their eyes. They arrived on a small island, which should be one of the small islands in the chaotic astral ocean. Brother Lu, Mississippi Xia, thank you. Kenfei Ryu cupped his fists at Lu Ming to express his gratitude. This time, only the 3 of them came out. He knew that the others would have to stay underground forever. The reason he could come out was definitely because of Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. He was very grateful. If he had to stay underground forever, it would be worse than death. Brother Jian, you don't have to thank me. Lu Ming smiled. Brother Lu, Miss Xia, what are your plans from now on? Kenfei Ryu asked. We came out mainly to train and improve our cultivation. When the Battle of Providence begins, we will head to the Tianwu region. Lu Ming said. The Tianwu region was where the Emperor Sky Divine Palace was located. Oh, if that's the case, why don't you follow me back to the Golden Sword sect and head to the Tianwu region? The Tianwu list battle is about to begin. For all the Peak Kings, this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. Kenfei Ryu said. Tianwu list battle? Lu Ming was stunned. Apart from the Battle of Providence, why was there another Tianwu list battle? Brother Lu, you don't know about the Tianwu list battle? Kenfei Ryu was a little surprised. Lu Ming shook his head. He really didn't know. All right. In the Tianwu region, there are 2 Tianwu steels that open once every 3 years. The Tianwu steels have a miraculous effect on Peak Kings. Many people have broken through and entered the Sea of Soul realm because of it. However, there is a limit to the number of people who can obtain the final opportunity. There are only 108 people. However, there are so many peak kings in the eastern wilderness that it's hard to count. With so many people, everyone wants the 108 spots. Therefore, a series of battles have started. This is the Tianwu List battle. Now, the Tianwu List battle is not only about the 108 spots. It will also rank the peak kings. It is a kind of glory to determine the strongest peak king. Among them, the top 10 of the Tianwu list are called the 10 Heavenly Kings. Kenfei Ryu explained in detail. Oh! Lu Ming nodded. He roughly understood. This meant that they had to compete for both the ranking and the opportunity. The Tianwu list battle is extremely fierce. Because there is no age limit, many old monsters who have cultivated for nearly 1,000 years will participate. It can be said that there are many experts. Those old monsters may have limited potential, but after so many years of cultivation, their combat strength is extremely terrifying. Many geniuses on the list of top 1,000 talents are no match for them. Kenfei Ryu said. Okay, we'll go to the Golden Sword sect with you first, then go to the Tianwu region. Lu Ming immediately made a decision. He was now stuck at the limit of the first level of wind, fire, and thunder. It was difficult for him to break through. Perhaps the Tianwu list battle would be an opportunity for him to break through. If he didn't break through the spiritual sea, it was almost impossible for him to stand out in the battle of luck. Xian Yanqing also nodded. Although she had heard of the Tianwu list battle, she was still quite curious. Immediately, the three of them rose into the air and flew toward the west. The Golden Light region where the Golden Sword sect was located was in the west of the chaotic astral ocean. After flying for a day, the three of them came to a large island. Following the map, they knew where they were. They should be about 10 days away from the Golden Light region. Let's ride the puppet. Lu Ming waved his hand, and a giant snake puppet appeared. This giant snake puppet was 50 meters long and equivalent to the fourth tier of the spiritual sea realm. It came from the Yin snake tribe. This time, Lu Ming brought back many puppets. At the sight of Lu Ming taking out the giant snake puppet and sensing the powerful aura that the giant snake puppet exuded, Jian Filiu was shocked. I didn't expect that Brother Lu not only has strong martial arts cultivation, but also the path of inscription is so terrifying. Kenfei Ryu sighed. To be able to control a puppet equivalent to the fourth tier of the spiritual sea realm, Lu Ming's spiritual fire was absolutely terrifying. Needless to say, he was definitely a true inscription master. At this age, not only was his martial arts so terrifying, but even his path of inscription had reached such a level. Kenfei Ryu wailed in his heart. Was he still human? Lu Ming smiled faintly and didn't say much. The giant snake puppet was very big, and it was very spacious for the three of them to ride. Hoo! The giant snake puppet flapped its wings, and the wind howled. They turned into a stream of light and flew forward. So fast! Lu Ming was slightly shocked. After coming out of the underground, he found that the giant snake puppet's flying speed was many times faster than underground. As expected, when underground, its speed was completely suppressed. Flying became many times more difficult, and when they were outside, it was as if they had broken free of their shackles and were free to fly. Chapter 724. The boundless sea region flashed by, and in the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. Riding on the puppet, they could cultivate as they traveled. And there are battle cries coming from ahead. With a thought, Lu Ming reduced the speed of the giant snake puppet. Kenfei Ryu and Xian Yanqing also stopped cultivating. It seems like there are pirates intercepting the merchant group. Xian Yanqing said. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming waved his hand and kept the giant snake puppet. They turned into 3 rays of light and flew forward. Luo Xian was in despair. Seeing the people of the flame merchant group dying one by one, she was truly in despair. This time, the flame merchant group had a large amount of goods to transport to the Golden Light region. The value of the goods was very high, and the flame merchant group had mobilized almost all of their forces. Chen Dao, the strongest battle force of the flame merchant group, and Luo Xian's father, Luo Ming, was also a peak king. There were also 2 peak kings, making a total of 4 peak kings. Their strength couldn't be considered weak. However, the opponent was even stronger because they were the Blood Evil Pirate Group. Yes, it was the Blood Evil Pirate Group again, and this time, all of them were mobilized. What made them despair was that the Blood Evil Pirate Group not only had 4 peak kings, but their leader was also an almighty at the first layer of the spiritual ocean realm. They were no match for them at all. At this moment, they were completely surrounded. Pang! The leader of the Blood Evil Pirate Group was called Xue Sha. With a palm strike, Chen Dao spat out large mouthfuls of blood and retreated rapidly. Xue Sha, we have already agreed to hand over all the goods. Why are you still in such a hurry to kill us all? Luo Ming roared, unwilling to give up. Why? Hee, last time, my 5th and 6th brothers tried to rob your flame trading firm, but were killed in the end. During this period of time, I've been investigating your flame trading firm's movements, planning to take revenge for my 5th and 6th brothers. I didn't expect to find out that all of you have moved out. How could I miss such an opportunity? Xue Sha sneered, and the murderous aura on his body was extremely dense. Luo Xian smiled bitterly. So that's why. The Blood Evil Pirate Group wanted to avenge those people. Back then, the 2 pinnacle kings of the Blood Evil Pirate Group had been killed by Lu Ming. But in that situation, the Blood Evil Pirates wanted to annihilate them. Of course, they had to retaliate. She wouldn't blame Lu Ming. She could only say that their flame trade union was destined to face such a calamity. Little girl, I heard that my 5th brother was killed because he took a fancy to you. Why didn't you agree at that time? Why didn't you just agree to my 5th brother's request? You actually dared to resist and even dared to order people to kill them. Today, I will take you down and let my other brothers enjoy you. I will let you know what regret is. Xue Sha's voice was extremely cold. It was as cold as a poisonous snake, choosing its prey. Chen Dao, you take Xian and break out of the encirclement. I will do my best to stop them. Luo Ming asked Chen Dao. Father, no, we have to leave together. Luo Xian shouted. If Luo Ming stayed behind to block them, he would definitely die. Go? Where do you want to go? Today, none of you will be able to leave. Xue Sha said coldly. The other 4 peak kings of the Blood Evil Pirate Group were scattered around, along with many other experts, sealing off the other escape routes of the Flame Trade Union. Also, who killed my 5th brother and 6th brother? Hurry up and say it so that you won't have to suffer so much. Xue Sha asked coldly. I already said that the one who killed your 5th brother and 6th brother wasn't from our Flame Trade Union. He was just passing by our Flame Trade Union. We don't recognize him and don't know where he is now. Luo Xian said. It seems like you won't say it. Alright, wait a moment. I will let you say it. Xue Sha's gaze turned even colder as the aura on his body exploded. The aura of the Sea of Soul realm was like a vast ocean, spreading towards the people of the Flame Trade Union. Luo Xian, Luo Ming, and the others felt even more despair. Are you looking for me? Right at this moment, a clear voice drifted over from afar. Hearing this voice, Luo Xian's body shook. She didn't know why, but she immediately became excited as she looked towards the direction of the voice. Everyone else also looked towards the direction of the voice. 3 young figures walked over in the air. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. Luo Xian became excited. It's him. Chen Dao's eyes suddenly brightened. Only the few of them knew that Lu Ming was Shura, the Shura who could kill the Sea of Soul realm deep-sea giant snake. Lu Ming had come. They were saved. However, the others didn't know. Xue Sha's gaze was cold as he looked at Lu Ming and said, Who are you? Who am I? What a joke. Weren't you looking for me just now? I was the one who killed your fifth and sixth brothers. Lu Ming smiled faintly. So it's you. Ha ha ha, there's a path to heaven but you don't want to take it. There's no door to hell but you're really stupid. But this is good too. It saves me the trouble of looking for you. Shueisha laughed, his gaze extremely cold. Is that so? From now on, the chaotic astral ocean will have no blood evil pirate group. Lu Ming stepped forward and said, Little Qing, Brother Jian, I'll leave the others to you. Okay, ha. Kenfei Ryu smiled and stepped forward, walking toward a Peak King. Kid, you're courting death. That Peak King roared, and a resplendent blade light slashed toward Kenfei Ryu. Kang! A light sword hum resounded, and a golden light flashed. Then, everyone was shocked to see that the Peak King pirate's blade light had shattered, and a bloody wound had appeared on his forehead. Then, his entire body was split in two. One sword strike, and a Peak King had died. Everyone was dumbfounded. At the same time, Xian Yanqing arrived in front of a Peak King. However, what happened next was even more shocking. Just as that Peak King was about to attack, his entire body stiffened, and he didn't move at all. Only his face revealed an extremely terrified expression. Then, with a peng sound, this Peak King turned into a bloody mist that spread out in the air. He was dead and turned into ashes. See, around them, everyone's chests were like a ventilator, constantly sucking in cold air. Horrifying, too horrifying. A Peak King was killed without even being able to fight back. However, Xian Yanqing and the others were clearly only Peak Kings. They are. Luo Ming was dumbfounded and stuttered. Luo Xian took a deep breath and pointed at Kenfei Ryu, saying, King of Hell. Then, she pointed at Xian Yanqing, saying, Yiksha. Finally, she pointed at Lu Ming and said, Shura. Luo Ming's pupils constricted as he took a few deep breaths and said, So it's them. No wonder. Everyone on Golden Sand Island knew about Shura, King of Hell, and Yiksha. Of course, Luo Ming had heard of them before. He knew that his flame trade firm would finally be saved today.